Well, the old real estate deal on this Tuesday here in central and eastern Kentucky. Location. Here in Lexington, we had some sunshine, highs in the 80s. Meanwhile, southern and southeast Kentucky, clouds and rain, and that really had an impact on temperatures. Good news, though, fantastic weather across the board as we close out August. It is going to be rather hot for the Cats home opener out of Kroger Field on Saturday with that noon kickoff, so be prepared for that. And, of course, the heat will build and stick around Labor Day and even beyond. We're starting to see a little bit of clearing, especially areas south and just east of Lexington. Those showers confined to the 75 corridor across southern Kentucky and into the eastern mountains. All this due to a stationary boundary a little way below pressure riding along it, but it is beginning to kick out. In fact, some sunshine back in Richmond. It's been overcast much of the day with rain just to your south. Bluegrass Pace Carrier Skyview HD Camera Network. At EKU, we're at 77, light northeast wind. Temperatures finally recovering a bit here in the Bluegrass, but check out southern southeastern Kentucky, only low and mid 70s for the second day in a row. And our dew points are high with the low-level moisture, but we've got some drier air in place, only upper 50, low 60 dew points. That's great and means it's very comfortable, especially for this time of the year. So there's the low and the frontal boundary beginning to move out. This weak area of high pressure gives way, and this next front won't bring us any rain chances at all, but it will usher in some drier air and some milder air for the last 2 days of August. Not going to feel like it at all. Now, you see here on our Futurecast, starting things out tomorrow morning, upper 50s here in the Bluegrass, probably low to mid 60s with some lingering clouds down south. But check out tomorrow afternoon. How about it? Upper 70s to around 80, and it's going to feel really good. We'll have a nice north breeze at about 10 to 15, bringing in that drier air. Taking you south to the Gulf of Mexico, Hurricane Idalia, now a Category 2 hurricane, maximum sustained winds 100 miles per hour. It's about 175 miles southwest of Tampa. Already those outer bands impacting central and southern Florida. And this thing moving north at 16, a beeline heading toward the Big Bend area of Florida. As I mentioned, this is a more sparsely populated area. There's an aquatic refuge, so most of the towns are inland, but when you're talking a 10 to 15 foot storm surge potentially, especially on the right side of where it makes landfall, that is problematic. Just think of a wall of water 10 to 15 feet high. It's going to rush inland a fairly good distance, and obviously a 4 to 7 foot surge in Tampa, St. Pete, that will cause some issues. Even after it makes landfall, of course, you're looking at tornadoes once it's inland for that brief period of time, in addition to flooding rain, and it still could be a minimal hurricane around the low country of South Carolina with a counterclockwise flow around it. You're going to get that onshore flow coming off of the Atlantic. So the bottom line is a big chunk of real estate going to be dealing with this, and you see how the computer models pretty much in line where the expected landfall, and of course, we're closing the gap as far as distance and time to landfall. It won't be long here over the next, say, 12 to 15 hours, I think. It'll be making a beeline there for the Big Bend of Florida. Now, the high moving in that will provide a great finish to August and a nice start to September is going to help kick that system out into the Atlantic. We're dealing with some great weather. Should be perfect for Friday night football, high school this week as opposed to last week with all the cancellations. And even as we start to heat things up over the holiday weekend, our humidity levels are going to stay low. Mostly clear, pleasant tonight. Maybe a few lingering clouds in southern Kentucky, upper 50s, low 60s. How about it tomorrow? Nice breeze. Lots of sun, 79. The extended forecast here, of course, lots going on this weekend. As mentioned, Kentucky and Ball State out at Kroger Field, 89 for the high, sunscreen and hydrate properly. And that pretty much goes for any outdoor activity through the upcoming weekend as highs climb into the low 90s through Labor Day.